Hello, I am Ailey and I'm a news anchor for the African American Women News. Our African American woman of the day is Maggie Lena Walker. She was born in 1864. Her mother was a former slave and her dad was an Irishman. Her parents never actually got married. The Civil War was nearing an end when she was born. She was raised in Richmond, Virginia. This was during the Reconstruction era. The Reconstruction era was when the United States tried to rebuild the southern states after the Civil War. Because there were no more slaves after the Civil War, Maggie was able to get a good education. In 1896, the Plessy versus Ferguson case began. The case confirmed segregation and that blacks and whites could not share transportation, schools, bathrooms, and things like that, as long as both had equal access. In this environment of segregated Virginia, Maggie wanted to improve opportunities for African Americans. She had many accomplishments. In 1902, she made a newspaper called the St. Luke Herald. And in 1903, started a bank called the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank for African Americans to be able to buy homes. She was the first African American woman president of a bank in the United States. In 1905, Maggie Lena Walker made a department store called the Emporium for African Americans with affordable prices. The Great Depression started in 1930. It was a severe worldwide economic depression where people lost their jobs and didn't have very much money. Almost half of the banks that existed at the start of the Great Depression failed by the end of it. During the Depression, Maggie helped join her bank with two other banks to keep them in business, and then they changed the name to the Consolidated Bank and Trust Company. As of 2010, it was the oldest bank in the country that has been continuously run by African Americans. An interesting fact about fashion during the Great Depression is that because people didn't have very much money during that time, designers made more affordable clothes that had longer lengths, smaller waists, lower heels, and less makeup. Accessories became more important because people could wear the same clothes but wear different accessories and it would be considered a different outfit. Another interesting fact is that during the Depression, people went to the movies a lot. The Three Little Pigs, released May 27, 1933, and produced by Walt Disney, was seen as symbolic of the Great Depression, with the wolf representing the Depression and the Three Little Pigs representing average people who eventually succeeded by working together. Even though Maggie achieved great things, she faced a lot of tragedy too. She had one son who died as a baby. And then in 1915, her other son mistakenly thought her husband was an intruder, then shot and killed him. The life lesson I learned from Maggie Lena Walker is that even if you go through lots of tragedies in your life, you can still battle through them and achieve great things. Maggie Lena Walker died in 1934 because of a leg injury and diabetes. She was a great person. Thank you for listening to my report on a famous African American woman.